So let's get started. Tell us a little bit of your background coming into this role.
Thanks. Yeah, so I've been with Hennepin County Elections, which is in Minneapolis, Minnesota, for the past 8 years, where I really got a foundation in election administration and in public service. And that's what I've dedicated my career to, is serving the public. And so I'm really excited and honored to be here at the City of Madison.
So what are you specifically bringing to the Madison City Clerk role?
Sure, yeah. So like I said, I'm dedicated to public service. I have a great foundation in accountability, in transparency, and in accessibility. So when I was at Hennepin County, I was voter engagement division manager, and so I had a hand in every part of the elections to make sure that I knew what was going on so I could communicate that with the public. So I'm really bringing that foundation of election knowledge to this office as well as management, and so all of that is what brings me here and gets me prepared to take over.
And so the Madison City's Clerk's office has been in quite a bit of turmoil over the past year. Why were you interested in this role?
Yeah, I'm interested in this role because I am committed to serving the public, to election administration. I think that this is an exciting time to be an election administrator, be a clerk. And I think that having gotten to know all of the folks in the clerk's office, I got to know them actually last year at a conference. They're all deeply, deeply committed and passionate about serving the public. They are all highly skilled and highly motivated to do their work well, and so that's part of the reason why I wanted to take on this role, is because I knew that the staff here are wonderful people to work with, and I'm excited to be able to support them in that.
So some of the investigations and turnover and things like that didn't scare you away from this office?
Oh no, it didn't scare me away. I think that that type of thing happens, and I think it's really how you respond and how you go forward. So I'm excited to go forward. I think the staff really learned a lot from what happened last year, and many of the processes that the WEC asked have already been implemented, and so going forward, I have no concerns about that.
Yeah, and I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper into this topic, because it's been something kind of at the forefront of the clerk's office for the past year. So when those 193 absentee ballots went uncounted last year, an investigation revealed that your predecessor went on vacation the next day and didn't act in accordance with her role. How would you have reacted when finding out that ballots went uncounted?
Sure, yeah, so I'm not necessarily here to talk about the predecessor, I'm here to talk about the future. However, if I were to know about an incident that happened on Election Day, I would involve my partners in the city and then the public too. You know, I'm really dedicated to transparency and making sure that the public knows that the clerk's office is upholding election law and Wisconsin law. So communication is first and foremost for me.
Now, the investigation also found that the absentee ballots likely never even made it to their polling sites. So for you, what is best practice for handling absentee ballots?
Sure, yeah. So best practices have already been implemented in Madison. Those best practices happened at the beginning of this year for all of 2025 elections. So those processes are in place. So election officials, the poll workers, have been informed of what to do on Election Day with their absentee ballots. And so the staff know about those processes. We've been working with other cities to make sure that our processes are up to date.
And what kind of processes were updated that you think are making it a little bit more successful?
Sure, yeah, trainings for election officials have been up to date. And again, this is only my 5th day, so still digging into some of those processes, but we will be doing a review before the 2026 elections. We have the WEC response letter that we are in the midst of drafting, so those questions will be answered.
Now, you've also developed training for poll workers in the past, and in 2024, the investigation found that inadequate training contributed to some of the issues we saw here. And you've just mentioned some of that. Can you go through kind of what you think best training would be, or things that you would like to see out of this clerk's office?
Sure, yeah. So like I said, much of that has already happened in 2025. Those concerns were addressed before any elections happened in 2025. So poll workers, the trainings for them were updated, and they will be continuing to be updated. Staff have been working with poll workers to make sure that they understand what's going on. Like I said, working with other cities to make sure that what we are doing is in accordance with best practices. So those trainings have been updated, and poll workers are better equipped to deal with things like this.
Is it something that you would continue to monitor in this position?
Of course, yep. So we will continue to monitor how well election officials feel like they can do their job on Election Day, pre-election day. So we will continue to do that.
And are there things about the way Madison conducts its elections that you think are especially successful or unsuccessful, kind of on both sides of that coin?
Yeah, sure. So Madison does a great job of engaging the public. Our staff are out in the community almost every day, which is really exciting. And so there's really that engagement piece. And so we really do a great job of that. One thing that I've learned while I've been here, this is, like I said, my 5th day, is that there's so much pride in civic engagement in Madison. There's pride in being an election official, being a poll worker. I've met so many people who are just so excited to tell me that they are in the election process. They have a piece of this. All of the staff in this office are so proud of the work that they do. The voters are so proud to be voters in Madison. And so my goal is to make sure that Madison can be proud of the city clerk's office. So that's my goal going forward. It's my 5th day, so I can't really say what Madison is doing wrong yet. And so I can answer that question in the future and hopefully solve those answers.
Awesome. And so I guess in recent years we've seen some threats of violence to election workers. Is that a concern of yours kind of moving into this role?
Yeah, it definitely is a concern. It's a concern throughout the country. We have really gotten very polarized and partisan, and unfortunately election offices, clerk's offices have been in that. And it's really tough when the public sees you as partisan or sees you as a politician, and we always say that we're public servants, not politicians. We're here to serve you and really in a nonpartisan capacity. And so that's something that we will be monitoring as I go through my first couple of weeks. I'll be looking at the security that we have, looking through to make sure all of our emergency managements plans are up to date and that kind of thing. So it is something that's concerning, but it's not specific to Madison. It's a nationwide issue.
And of course, this is just your first week, so you might not have all the answers yet, but are there things that you're looking at specifically that you think can bring safety to election workers?
Yeah, of course. So we've been working with our election or our emergency management folks at the city, but that's something that we'll look into what more can be done. And I think that adding that to the poll worker training especially will be important.
And so coming off of kind of a harsh year for this office, what do you think the clerk's office needs to do to restore trust with the voters?
Sure. Yeah. So trust is really built and built in action. So making sure the public sees that we are being transparent, that we are upholding election law is very important. And so I think it'll take some time for some voters to build that trust back up in our office. But making sure that they know that they can come to us, they can call us if they have concerns about how things are run. We're always here for them. We're also always out in the community. And so our office really wants to make sure that folks know that they can come to us if they have questions or concerns. We're responding to the WEC order and making sure all of our processes are up to date. So really it's making sure that voters know that we are here to serve them and are transparent.
And transparency is something you mentioned multiple times in this interview. It sounds like a big priority of yours. Can you kind of touch on that a little bit further and maybe some other priorities that you have coming into this?
Sure, yeah. So transparency to me means that when mistakes happen, they're communicated immediately to the public. When things that go wrong, that they're communicated. And so making sure that we have a plan in place for that at the city level, who we communicate to when that information gets shared with the public is first and foremost for me. Other priorities for this office is making sure that the staff feel supported. Last year was really tough, and it was tough for everybody in election administration in the country. And so making sure that they feel supported and ready to take on 2026, which will also be a big election year. So those are two priorities. I also am really interested in innovation in this office and making sure that folks have the best equipment that we can have, both for election security and just to move this office forward to the future.
Wonderful. And so kind of last question here for you. Are you confident that under your leadership we will see a smooth next election in 2026?
I'm confident 2026 will be smooth for this office. We have so many wonderful partners in Madison. All the staff here are dedicated and looking forward to serving the public.
Is there anything else about this future role for you that you're specifically excited about or things that you're kind of keeping an eye on so far?
Yeah, like I said, I'm really excited about how much pride there is in civic engagement in Madison. I think that it's been wonderful to talk to the public about what they love about Madison and how much they enjoy just being out there, having their voice heard, and that kind of thing. So that's been really exciting. It's been great to meet so many friendly people this week at the city level, and so those are some things that I'm excited about. I'm excited to really dig into some things that we can change in this office and sort of look around at things that maybe I learned in Minnesota, learned from other election offices, and look at what we can really improve in this office and really how we can better serve Madison.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us, and welcome to Madison.
Thank you. So honored to be here. Really appreciate it.